Our youngest daughter, Angie, was 2 years old before she really enjoyed playing with all the baby dolls around the house. It wasn't long until she had developed a special attachment to our little Raggedy Ann, especially when she discovered Raggedy Ann had a little red embroidered heart, and on her heart were the 3 words, "I love you." To Angie, this was the greatest thing that ever could be, to have a heart that says, "I love you." And so she followed the rest of the family around the house, asking if we knew what her heart said. When we'd say, "No, what?" to our delight she'd say, "My heart says I love you." Several days later, as Angie and I were riding in the car, she was standing on the seat beside me with one chubby little arm around my neck. Leaning over, she put her cheek next to mine and softly asked, "Mommy, you know what my heart says?" I answered, "No, what?" Then in her most charming little girl way, she said, "My heart says I love you." She gave me a love and kissed me on the cheek, her dimpled face all smiles. I couldn't help laughing at her, and she laughed too. It was one of those moments we like to tuck away in a special corner of our memories. Angie was quiet for a few moments as she stared out the windows at the fields of ripening grain and sweet clover quickly disappearing from view. Suddenly, as if it were more than she could stand, she burst out, "Mommy, do you know what my heart says?" The tone in her voice caused me to look at her face that was shining like sunbeams and her eyes sparkling like blue diamonds. Never dreaming what she was about to say, I asked, "No, Angie, what does your heart say?" Then glancing again out the window, she exclaimed, "My heart says, I love you, Jesus. I love you, Jesus. I love you, Jesus." By this time, I too was caught up with her excitement, and it was my turn to hug her tightly. What a thrill to hear such a small, tender child spontaneously express her praise to her Creator. You know, kids, moms and dads, grandpas and grandmas, or whoever you might be, Angie may have her own special way of saying it, but there will never be anything said or done that will have any more lasting value than these words sincerely spoken. Jesus, you know what my heart says. I love you.
Our little girl was playing with Raggedy Ann one day, when with such sweet delight I could hear her say,
"Her heart says I love you. Her heart says I love you. Mommy, you know what? Her heart says I love you."
Little girls just seem to know that Jesus loves them so. Now sometimes while at play, this is what she says.
My heart says I love you. My heart says I love you. Jesus, you know what? My heart says I love you.
Lord, may I learn by listening as I hear her praises ring, that with this same sweet freedom my heart too can sing. My heart says I love you. My heart says I love you. Jesus, you know what? My heart says I love you. My heart says I love you. My heart says I love Jesus, you know what? My heart says I love you. Jesus, you know what?